from WDTV Studios, this is WDTV 5 News First at 5, keeping you connected.
Good evening, I'm Ian Roth.
And I'm Rachel Ramsey. Thanks for joining us. More than a dozen states are now getting rid of pandemic-related unemployment benefits.
And today, Governor Jim Justice announced that West Virginia is joining that list. The governor says the state will end all federally funded pandemic unemployment compensation programs effective June 19th at midnight. This will include the additional $300 weekly payments as well as benefits for self-employed. The governor says people need to get back to work.
West Virginians will have access to thousands of jobs right now, and we need everybody back to work. Our small business and economy depends on it so much.
Governor Justice also announced that he's looking into giving people a signing type bonus to go back to work. More details will be released on Monday. Now, we shared this story on our Facebook page, and we've been getting a lot of comments.
Here's what some of our followers had to say. Debbie Geiger-Cohn said, in part, glad to hear this. The available jobs may not be your dream job, but time to show you have some work ethics and want your independence back.
Allison Burnell also said, in part, this is so wrong. Individual states should not be able to undermine the intent of the federal government, which was to help the unemployed until September 5th. And don't forget to like our Facebook page and share what you think about pandemic unemployment benefits ending in West Virginia.
And if you are fully vaccinated, before you ditch the mask for good, there are a few exceptions. 5's
Veronica Obey spoke with a health expert to explain when a mask may still be needed.
After the CDC's newest guidance stating that anyone who is fully vaccinated is not required to wear a mask inside or outside or practice social distancing, Governor Jim Justice made an announcement early Friday afternoon in response.
I am signing an executive order to modify our face covering requirement.
Now, on First at 5, a Harrison County man is behind bars after a pursuit down Lodgeville Road. What charges he's facing. Plus,
criminals don't respect laws.
The West Virginia Attorney General threatening to sue the Biden administration why he says the president overstepped his boundary.
And a fire in Clarksburg over the weekend left families devastated. How the community is helping them get back on their feet. Plus,
with more COVID-19 vaccine appointments becoming available, health officials are asking you to cancel any extra appointments.
Live from WDTV Studios, this is WDTV 5 News First at 5, keeping you connected.
Good evening, I'm Ian Roth. Thanks for joining us. Attorney General Patrick Morrisey is on the warpath after President Joe Biden's press conference on gun reform. Our Joe Buchanan spoke with the Attorney General about why he's preparing for his day in court.
West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey tells me he believes yesterday's press conference about gun control was President Biden overreaching past the powers of his office.
The Morgantown Police Department is still looking for a suspect in connection to a shooting. Police responded to the Domino's parking lot at 300 Pleasant Street around 3 p.m. yesterday, where they found a man with a gunshot wound to the shoulder. The suspect is a 6-foot man with blonde hair. Police say he's not believed to be dangerous. If you have any information, call the Morgantown Police Department. A Shinston man led police on a pursuit yesterday after stealing a van from the Goodwill parking lot in Bridgeport. According to the criminal complaint, the pursuit began when Robert Jackson drove past a Harrison County deputy in the stolen van. He was coming down from the Lodgeville apartments. During the pursuit, Jackson almost hit a Clarksburg police cruiser head-on in front of the Brickside Bar and Grill. He drove through multiple businesses' parking lots before stopping at Lucky Day Pawn Shop on Tolley Drive. The pursuit continued on foot over the embankment. Jackson is being charged with grand larceny and fleeing with reckless indifference. One local community organization is stepping up to help two families that lost their homes to a fire on Easter Sunday. Today, the Monticello ongoing revitalization effort collected donations and letters for those families. Sitting outside of the Kelly Miller Community Center in Clarksburg, the group urged community members to drop off supplies that could help them as they get back on their feet. Jay McCoy from the organization wants the families to know the community is there for them, no matter what.
When we learned about the house fires of the families, they were part of this community. I don't personally know them, but I could probably walk to where their houses were.
The group will be collecting donations again this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Good evening, I'm Ian Roth.
And I'm Rachel Ramsey. Thanks for joining us. Rita Mays, the VA serial killer responsible for the death of 7 veterans, was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences, in addition to 20 years this morning.
Our Joe Buchanan was in the courtroom. Joe, what was the feeling in the courtroom when that sentencing was read?
It was a feeling of relief in the courtroom as dozens of family members were in Judge Thomas Klee's courtroom hoping for the maximum sentence against Rita Mays.
Another Harrison County man is behind bars after allegedly hitting a man with a weightlifting bar. According to the criminal complaint, when deputies responded, they found a man with a deep laceration across his eye. His eyelid was nearly severed off his face with uncontrollable bleeding. 32-year-old John Buller allegedly hit the man in the head and face with a weightlifting bar several times. The victim was transported to UHC for his injuries. Buller is being charged with malicious or unlawful assault. Now to some new information on the shooting in Morgantown that we told you about last week. The Morgantown Police Department identified the suspect as 19-year-old Justin Lamar. The shooting happened on Thursday in the Domino's parking lot at 300 Pleasant Street. Police are still looking for Lamar and ask that anyone with information contact the Morgantown Police Department. Seeing clearly in this Bridging the Great Health Divide, we show you how a local clinic is making sure everyone has access to eye care. Bigger and better, 2 local United Ways come together. What new programs this expansion will bring to the area. And the cold spell is still lingering around our area. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Corvo is coming up with when we can expect to see those temperatures warm back up. Did you know there are several businesses in Elkins that have been open for business at least 100 years? Today they were recognized for that achievement. 5's Jasmine Aduse is live from Davis and Elkins College with the story. Good evening, I'm Ian Roth. Thanks for joining us. A Washington, D.C. man wanted for assault with a dangerous weapon was arrested in Tucker County in the city of Parsons today. According to the U.S. Marshal's Office, 30-year-old Romer McKnight allegedly shot another man in the hand near a McDonald's back in February. The victim was waiting in the drive-through line when McKnight allegedly got out of the vehicle in front of him, stumbled toward his vehicle, and began shooting at him. As you can see in the video, the victim then drove away. McKnight was taken to custody near Overlook Drive. George Tanyos, that is the man accused of attacking U.S. Capitol Officer Brian Sicknick during the January 6th riots. He appeared in federal court this morning. Our Joe Buchanan was in attendance and joins us live. Joe, what was the purpose of today's hearing?
Well, good evening. Today was just a status hearing, a logistical step ahead of the full trial, and nothing major was really decided today. Part of the reason was because Cater, the Pennsylvania man that was charged alongside Tanyos for their involvement in the January 6th riots, well, Cater was unable to attend this morning. That's because he was being taken to a correctional center in Washington, D.C. But as for Tanyos, he appeared virtually from jail this morning in front of a federal judge in Washington, D.C. Now, most of today's hearing focused on conditions for bond for both of these men. Tanyos was denied bail last month by a judge in Clarksburg, but his attorneys say they are preparing to appeal that decision. As for Cater, his attorneys say they are preparing a large bail package for him that they will soon be presenting to the court. Both men now have until April 20th to put forward bond packages, giving the United States prosecutors a chance to respond before their bond hearing is scheduled for April 27th. Now, one more thing of note in the hearings today, when reading the charges against Tanyos, his attorneys argued that Tanyos was not guilty. A glimpse at what their arguments will be ahead of the full trial. Live at Morgantown, Joe Buchanan, 5 News.
One person was injured in a 2-vehicle accident involving an overturned truck. The accident happened between exit 131 and 132 on I-79 southbound. The injured person was transported to the United Hospital Center. One lane on both north and southbound sides of I-79 were closed, according to Marion County 911 communications officials. West Virginia State Police are now investigating. The White House is pushing the need for President Biden's infrastructure plan, releasing infrastructure report cards for each state. West Virginia got a D. Some of the areas of improvement on the report card include roads and bridges, broadband, and drinking water. According to the report card, West Virginia has 1,545 bridges and over 3,200 miles of highway in poor condition. You can view the full report card on our website.